For centuries in the world of track and field, there was a record that nobody believed could ever be broken. It was the idea that no human could ever run a sub 4-minute mile. It just couldn't be done. It was impossible. No one has ever done it. And so no one ever did it. It wasn't until 1954 that Roger Bannister, at the age of 25, decided that he would accomplish this feat. He had an idea and an image in his mind that it could be done. And in 1954, Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. He finished the race in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. And this really took everyone by complete surprise because up until this point, it wasn't possible. But Roger Bannister broke that record. And you know what my favorite part about this story is? It wasn't even 2 months later that another guy by the name of John Landry broke the record again. A few months after that, 2 more racers broke the record. And if you flash forward to right now, the sub 4-minute mile has been broken over 1,000 times. And you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up. Well, I want to ask the question, why was it that as soon as Roger Bannister broke the impossible record, it became possible for everyone else to break it? And the answer is that they all of a sudden believed it was possible. You see, the human mind will go as far as you believe it can go. It will push as far as you believe it can push. Once they were exposed to the greatness that Roger Bannister displayed to them, once they were exposed to that, you see, they knew at that point in time that it was possible. So they went to work to do it and they accomplished it. I've heard it said that a mind expanded by a great idea can never return to its original form. So once you're exposed to this idea in the 4-minute mile, once you understand this is possible, well, that's it. You can never go back again, right? Now, you don't need to see someone else do it. It just makes it easier. Roger Bannister had no one else to look at, but he used his imagination. He used a picture and an image in his mind of a target, and he pushed himself until he achieved that target. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and grow every single day. How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt, and I want to welcome you to the 0 to 100K project, where I am challenging myself to go from $0 to $100,000 a month in passive income, and I'm inviting you to come on the journey with me. Speaking of leaving your comfort zone, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel so that we can go on this journey and change our lives together. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 most important ways that you can expose yourself to greatness, that you can get out of complacency, that you can leave your comfort zone and make the biggest difference in the shortest amount of time in your life. Number 1, your eyes. The Bible says that you become what you behold. And what that means is the vision that you put in front of your face, what you're looking at, what your eyes are on all day, actually has a direct result to the results that you end up getting in your life. You have to have a vision. You have to have a target of where you're going. A person without vision will always return to their past. If you don't have a vision for your finances, well, then you'll spend everything you make. If you don't have a vision for your fitness, well, then you'll eat anything you want. So what are you putting your eyes on? What are you allowing to come into your mind through your eye gate? Are you scrolling mindlessly on social media? Are you sitting down and plopping for hours in front of the TV, watching the news, watching useless shows? Or are you constantly, on purpose, putting your goal out in front of you? You know, I suggest you create a vision board, a board with your goals on it that you're looking at visually every single day. When you look at those goals, you're reminding yourself of the target. You're saying, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And you can start to identify yourself as someone who's already there. And that's the key. You start to live as if those things were already fact. Your mind always moves in the direction of the dominating images that you hold. So whatever you're looking at most, that's where you're going to move toward. If it's not in front of you, well, then you're not moving towards it. When an airplane takes off and the pilot sets the destination, an autopilot feature takes control. And the plane takes off and it's in the air. And as it's in the air, it's constantly checking to make sure that it's on track. And what it does is it measures the degrees of deviation that it is off course. So it'll constantly measure, it'll see that it's off a little bit, and it will course correct. And then it will measure and then course correct. And it's actually off course more often than it is on course. And why I'm saying that is you need to keep your vision in front of you. You need to create a vision board. You need to write it down every day. You need to look at it. You know, I used to be a guy who would write down my goals once at the beginning of the year. I'd never look at it again. And guess what? I never accomplished those goals, or very seldomly. You can read great books from people who have already done and already are where you want to be. Okay, that's the key. Most people take advice from anybody on the street, from their neighbor, from their friends. And the problem is those people, they haven't accomplished the thing that is your goal, the thing that you want to do. So you should only take advice from people who have already done it. And you can do that through books. It's one of the easiest way to do it. Did you know that 79% of poor people read books? They do, but they only read for entertainment purposes only. And 94% of wealthy people read books, but they read to grow, to learn, to stretch. Set a goal to read a certain number of books per year. I recommend no less than 1 per month. That's 12 a year, and that's a great place to start. Number 2, your ears. What are you letting come in to your ears? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? We have to constantly be on guard and watching and monitoring what's coming into our mind, what's creating the way that we think through our eyes, now through our ears. And just like we talked about reading books, well, what I find most useful for me and my lifestyle is listening to books. You can get an Audible account and listen to books while you're doing so many other things. I really enjoy doing it while I drive. Did you know that the average person is in their car the equivalent of 7 40-hour weeks? So how many books could you listen to in 7 40-hour work weeks? I mean, I think it's pretty incredible. And that's time that you really would be wasting listening to the radio, listening to music, and instead you could turn that into time to grow. I call this mobile university. And I'm constantly learning. I use my car as my school. I also do this when I go on walks. I usually go on one 20 to 30 minute walk per day to get my blood pumping, my body moving. It helps me think. So who are you listening to? The news, Facebook, Instagram, your neighbors, your friends, somebody walking down the street. I'm telling you, you have to curate the voices that are shaping the way that you think and see the world. Because whether you realize it or not, these things are actually programming you, and they will control the results that you're getting. So right now, I'm giving you the keys to unlock and take back control. All right, number 3, people. According to one Harvard doctor, over 95% of the outcomes of your life are determined by the people you hang around. The people that you hang around most, they're called your reference group. And I know that when you hear that, it probably makes you want to kick against it and say, that doesn't affect me. But the reality is, the company you keep, your closest friends really do affect you. I'm sure everyone here has heard the saying, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll tell you your bank balance. And there's a reason for that. Jim Rohn says that you become the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. When I was in high school, there were groups. There was the jocks, there were the cheerleaders, there were the dance team girls, there were the nerds, the math guys, there were the skaters. And my point is, how did it happen that all the skaters dress alike? How did it happen that all the jocks sort of dressed alike, acted alike, used the same language, the same slang terms? How does that happen? It happens because you rub off on each other. You become the average of all of them combined. So here's an interesting exercise. If you were to take 5 of your closest friends and write them on a sheet of paper, and then in categories next to their name, write down health, like their financials, their social skills, and I want you to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 on how they're doing, okay? Now, once you've done that, then I want you to take the average of all 5 of them in each category, and I want you to ask yourself, is this okay for me? Is this where I want to go? Because newsflash, it's where you're going, and you're probably already there. Now, this isn't anything against them, and I'm not saying you need to ditch your old friends and just never talk to them again. What I'm saying is you need to find people that will raise you up. Kathy Ireland said that you either have anchors or engines surrounding you, people that drag you down or people that pull you forward. If you're the smartest person in your group, you've got to get a new group. If you're the most muscular, the most cool, you need to go find people that are better than you, that are where you want to be, and spend your time with them. Because when you do that, you get pulled up to where they are. You begin to think like them. You're exposed to the way they think, to the way that they interact with the world, to how they present themselves. But people don't like that because it makes you become aware of where you are. And that feels awkward and that feels kind of scary. But that's actually where we need to live. We need to live in that place of uncomfortable. Being comfortable is one of the worst places we could be when it comes to making progress, achieving our goals, and doing great things on the earth. So find people that are where you want to be. Ask them to coffee, ask them out to lunch, see if you can join a mastermind, maybe a meetup group, whatever it takes to expose yourself to greatness. Put yourself in the path of great people and expose yourself to that. Number 4, environment. Everyone knows the story of Robert Kiyosaki. He grew up in a poor family, and he lived on the dividing line of the part of town between where the poor people lived and the rich people lived. But because he lived right there on that dividing line, he was able to go to the rich school. Now, growing up as a kid, he was exposed to how they thought. Not that they were better, but they think differently, and he was exposed to that. And that changed his way of thinking and made him want to be better, want to learn. So he began to ask his neighbor's dad, the rich dad, how to think. What's investing? How do I invest? Questions that he may never have asked if he wasn't exposed to a different way of thinking. This is one of my favorites. If your goal is to be wealthy, well, then your job is to surround yourself with wealth. Maybe you go to the ATM and pull out $100, put it in your wallet. And every time that you pull out your wallet, now you see that $100. You feel it in your hands. When you stick your hand in your pocket, you can feel the little edges of those $20 bills scraping against your fingers. It makes you think, I've got $100 in there. I'm wealthy. I'm abundant. Go and have lunch in a wealthy and an affluent area. Sit there, soak it in. Feel what it feels like to see expensive cars driving up and down the street. Order something nice from the menu. One thing that my wife and I are doing is that we have found our dream home, an area that we want to live in. So we go there and we park the car, we get the kids out, and we walk up and down the street as if we lived in that neighborhood. Because I want to know what it feels like. Because I want to get used to it. The idea is to feel it to where it becomes normal. It's a normal feeling. I'm not somewhere where I don't belong. Maybe the next plane trip you take, buy yourself a first-class ticket. See what it feels like. Expose yourself to that. If you want to get fit, go join a nice gym. Be around other people in an environment that promotes being fit. Do you know that people who live in a place like Colorado, where there's a lot more to do outside, are in better shape than people who live in a place that don't have that? It's because of your environment. Your environment matters. So do things on purpose every day to change your environment to serve you. So here's your guys' assignment. Write down all 4 categories: your eyes, your ears, your environment, and the people you hang around. And in those categories, I want you to start brainstorming. Brainstorm ideas of how you can do something different to expose yourself to greatness, to somebody or someone or some place that will begin to pull you and start cutting off all the things that are anchoring you in place. In the comments right now, I want to hear from you guys ideas and examples of ways that you can expose yourself to greatness, ways that you can put yourself in a position to challenge yourself. Put it in the comments because I love learning from you guys. There is greatness in each and every one of you, and it's my job and my passion and my purpose on this earth to help you pull it out of you, that better version of you that you know that's in there, but you don't know how to pull it out. I'm going to help you do that. So like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's do it together. That's it, you guys. Go out, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.